You know where I'll be next week?
Where?
I will be sitting right here.
A couple weeks ago, I had this story called Lawrence is leaving MSNBC and why you should care. So Lawrence's contract was going to be up on June 4th, and it's atypical to not have contract negotiations up until a few weeks from when your contract should be renewed. So if Lawrence was actually going to stay with NBC, they would have talked to him about it months ago. But up to that point, they hadn't talked about any contract negotiations. But last night, Lawrence had an intern on his show, and at the end of the segment, this happened.
Well, you're one of our interns who's been with us the longest, and you're starting a new job in this business next week.
Yes.
You know where I'll be next week?
Where?
I will be sitting right here talking about the James Comey hearing and everything else that happens next week and everything that happens for the next couple of years right here.
I'm happy to hear that. I look forward to watching that show for the next couple of years.
Joseph, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
I really appreciate being with us tonight. It's been great.
Followed by this tweet saying, yes, I will be saying hi to Rachel Maddow at 10 p.m. for the foreseeable future. So before I even get into the story, I just want to say how cool I think it is that Lawrence has on an intern for their last day to say bye to them. I think that's pretty awesome. I think it really shows a lot about Lawrence's character and how he does care about the little guy. But anyways, onto the story. So in the video, he says there for the next couple years. So it appears that Lawrence is now on board for at least the next 2 years. So why did this happen? Now, the reality is this happened because of all the outrage that came out of the idea that he wasn't going to be on MSNBC anymore. There was tons of outrage online, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on the video that I had. So if you go and read through the comments, the vast majority of comments under my video were people that were angry at MSNBC. A lot of them saying that they would stop watching the channel altogether if Lawrence was no longer going to be on it. Now that online outrage, combined with the fact that there were actually protests outside the NBC offices in New York to keep Lawrence on, really is what led to this signing. Obviously, it also helps that Lawrence has incredible ratings. So he's actually just number 2 behind Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. And MSNBC actually won the ratings war for the first time last month. So look, I've said this many times before. I have a lot of videos on it already. I have many issues with some people on MSNBC, and just the fact that the network has become less and less progressive since 2008. I mean, the ultra progressive voices like Cenk Uygur and Dylan Ratigan and Ed Schultz, they're all gone. And really, the only true progressives left, at least in theory, are Maddow, Lawrence, and Chris Hayes. And while the Trump administration is kind of blowing things up a little bit in the sense where all the focus right now is on Trump as opposed to pushing progressive policy, the hope is that one day when maybe this all dies down, there will actually still be voices on the network that can push a progressive agenda if we push them to do that. But in the meantime, if they want to cover Trump and possible impeachment and Russia and all that, that's fine, because people will come online for everything else.